Welcome to Game Crunch, your weekly video game podcast. My name is Mike Anastasia. With me today, we got Brandon,
Hello.
and we're here to talk about games and things.
Yep, games and things. I've played
Yeah.
quite a few, actually.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, because some of these I played during Game of the Year, but we were doing Game of the Year, so
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
I did remember you wanted to talk about Palworld.
Yep.
And
I do want to talk about Palworld still.
Yeah. Well, why don't we start there? You can tell us about all the controversy that's been going on while we were doing Game of the Year.
It's actually kind of interesting because
Yeah.
the controversy with Palworld is all just like manufactured. It's not like real issues whatsoever.
What?
Yeah. Wouldn't
No,
you guess?
not in my wildest dreams.
Yeah. So I'll start by going through a few of the things. There was quite a few Twitter posts because I refuse to fucking call it X, where people were being like, "This game's just like Pokemon," which, by the way, it's not. Outside of catching pals, it is far different from anything the Pokemon world has ever put out. It is very, very odd, and I'll explain that in a bit. But I want to go into the controversies first. First, the AI controversy. This one's great.
Mhm. Yeah.
So this was started by Naughty Dog employees who started a rumor by being like, something tells me that Palworld devs are cheating. I don't know how, and I have no proof, but I think they're cheating. And then more developers from Naughty Dog and other places started commenting on it as well, being like, "Yeah, I know, right? How could they have gotten this many sales in this short of time? Game development's really difficult, and this game came out of nowhere. They're clearly cheating, but I have no proof of it." And they started pointing out like it could have been AI and this, that, and the other, and then other people started running with that general thought, like that the game is using AI. They used it as 100% confirmation that the game is using AI in its game, more or less. Like the whole game's AI developed, which isn't true. It is really funny. But it goes a little bit further. We then had a person who posted up a video showing that all of the models' meshes are designed exactly like different Pokemon. And if you put them side by side, they even literally fit into each other, which looked incredibly damning. And immediately, Naughty Dog employees jumped on it, and they're like, "See, I told you, I knew something was wrong." And then other people were like, "Ah, so they actually just plagiarized Pokemon. They just straight up stole them. They even used the same mesh quality and size and everything." 2 days later, that guy admitted that that video was completely fabricated. He modified every single one of the ones. He downscaled them, rescaled them, readjusted their model quality and everything to fit into the Pokemon models because he hates this game, doesn't like seeing it on his timeline, and cannot stand that people are enjoying it when it advocates for animal cruelty.
Oh.
Moving on. Yeah, so that's just two of the small controversies, and by small I mean actually like huge, and people were running with them as fact. There are definitely some pals here that look very similar to other pals, but at the end of the day, you can chalk it up to holy shit, a sheep looks like a sheep, So it's kind of it's a little suspicious with the coloring and design of some of them, and it's like, okay, yeah, I get it. They're definitely taking inspiration. But if you look at the game, the whole game is made kind of as a parody on Pokemon to begin with, because the way it works is it's kind of a combination of like Ark Survival Evolved, which I don't like Ark, but I like some of the ideas of Ark, like as a survival game. Yeah, it has like survival game elements, but it also has like elements of like what's the word I'm looking for? Like Monster Hunter, where you hunt down specific monsters and you catch them. But then it also has a lot of base building elements, all of like, Minecraft, that sort of thing. But it also has like design elements. Like you can literally design a sweatshop and have the pals that you catch work for you and make ammo for your guns and stuff. And then another thing that like sets it apart is when it comes to catching pals and getting other pals, you don't have to use your pals to like weaken the enemy. You can just shoot them with a gun.
As you should.
Yeah, and then you can catch them that way, and or like a crossbow or whatever, because you're gonna start with like lower end equipment first. You're gonna start with like bow and arrows, crossbows, work your way up to pistols, then eventually submachine guns and stuff like that. But you can also like train your pals into using guns for you, and then you can have like a team of pals, and they can do their abilities. Like, oh, I've just poisoned this pal out in the wild, but also I have an AK-47, and my monkey's fucking gunning this asshole down, and it's very odd,
It sounds like it.
but it's very fun. It takes
Okay.
so many different elements from games. Like I said, Monster Hunter, like I said, like Arc games or Seven Days to Die or Rust or those kind of games. It takes all those elements and like sticks them together, and it has like a lot of Breath of the Wild stuff as well. Like it has the same kind of stamina bar type thing. You have the glider. You have all of this stuff from so many different games, but it's pieced together in a way that it makes one cohesive and really fun product. And then there's enough interesting things here, like I said, for instance, the ability to train your pals in using weapons, or to have your pals as like mounts, or to have elements of like being able to build like a whole workforce where they work for you and you like tell them what to do, and different pals have different strengths and weaknesses. So some of them can be like really good at building like pal spheres and building items that you're creating on the workbench, and then others will be really good at like harvesting berries or working in the mines or cutting down trees for you. And all these elements like come together where like as they're doing all this work, you also have to maintain like if they like you, so you have to keep them fed and whatnot. But you can also be a massive asshole, and you can like chain one up and hang him upside down on a fire and like punch him repeatedly until he gets back to work and shit like that. It's pretty like brutal, but it's not like, it's not designed in a way that isn't playful and silly and definitely tongue in cheek. It's 100% tongue in cheek. It knows exactly what it's doing, and it's actually really, really fun to play. So you don't have to be an asshole, but you can be an asshole, and that's another like element of the game. Like you can kind of approach it however you see fit. I saw like one person who put down like a bunch of fucking campfires and then led this grass type pal into the campfires and then burned it to death to whittle down its health and then throw a pal sphere at it and catch it.
Oh wow. That's nice it has like those environmental things.
Yeah, it's a very smart game that
Hmm.
is very dumb. Like it knows that it's stupid. It revels in it, and it is really fun because of that, basically. So,
Okay.
yeah. I would recommend you checking it out if you have a chance, because it is on Game Pass. They launched it on Game Pass day one as well. The Game Pass version also had some controversy because when they initially launched the Game Pass version, it was version 0.1.0.0, right? The
Hmm.
PC version that launched, and not even PC Game Pass, but just the PC Steam version that launched was 0.1.2.0, which is like three, builds ahead of the Xbox version. But they just released the Xbox version, and now it's up to date with the same PC version. But before it had bugs, it had issues, it didn't have all the graphics things that the PC version had. But they've now updated that as of 2 days ago, and you now have the same parity versions. They cannot play together, so like PC and Xbox can't play currently, but they're working on crossplay. They put out a roadmap. They're gonna have like PvP where people on servers can fight each other in the future, and I don't know. It looks like they're actually trying to do something here and like keep it going. And there's no DLC, there's no microtransactions, there's none of that, and they've still made like I think they're at 40 million, but they stopped updating how many that they had sold because they were getting death threats from very angry Pokemon fans. And I'm not even kidding. Some of those people were completely fucking unhinged that were going
No.
after them. Yeah. And there's that leads into another controversy. Nintendo put up a thing that basically said, "Hey, we've seen that a game released in early 2024 of January that may be infringing upon our rights, and we've decided to take appropriate legal action against it. We will look further into this if there is any legal action to be taken and update you as it comes." And basically, what it came down to was the translation was just saying, "Hey, can you please leave us the fuck alone?" Because they were getting like millions of fucking emails a day from Pokemon fans being like, "Shut this game down! Shut this game down!" Because like people were literally tagging like the Pokemon developers in any post that anyone made of Palworld on Twitter, and people were literally writing in daily causing like mass hate campaigns attempting to get this shut down, which doesn't make any sense for multiple reasons. One, this game is a Japanese made game. The developer that made it is Japanese. So there's no way that Pokemon didn't already know this was existing. Two, 3 years ago this game was announced and it was shown off exactly as it released. So again, there's no way that Pokemon didn't know this game was existing. And like, I mean, just why are these fucking fans so unhinged? Do they just want so many more bad Pokemon games that they're like, no, any game that even has any kind of monster taming in it is not allowed to exist outside of Pokemon. Fuck you. And it's just like, dude, what the fuck is your problem? Like, do you want more bad Pokemon games? Is that what you want? You only want people to be able to play bad games? Is that it? Because here's the thing. This game started as a meme, but as people played it, they were like, holy shit, this is like held together with glue and duct tape, just taking different pieces of different games and sticking them into one, but it works. And I think that's what's most impressive about it. A few other things to note. The artist that ended up doing the gun design and all that stuff was just some random dude they found at a Japanese convenience store who really liked guns. The people that made this game, they were brought on and were able to work on different parts as they saw fit. They didn't stop them from going and attempting like new jobs in within the like within like their so like the developers, like if one was like working on music, but he was like, I don't want to work on music today, I want to work on some like artistry or like the art of the game, he was allowed to go and jump ship and help the artist work on stuff or learn from the artist and everything. And then one of the like interviews I also saw with like the Palworld devs when they were asked like essentially, why did you make this game? He's like, I just want people to like my game and have fun playing it. I don't give a fuck if it's iterative of everything else. And there was some other stuff. There's like one that was really fucking good where the Palworld devs oh god, I gotta actually read this one because this one's really fucking funny. Hold on. So I don't know if you know how wild Sony fanboys are online. Like they are a whole nother bunch of people, essentially.
Yeah.
They are crazy people. I'm going to read to you something that happened also during the Palworld controversy. Okay. So,
Okay.
um some of the very popular Sony-centric fanboy accounts that do nothing but trash everything that isn't Sony, decided to start a rumor that the Xbox version was sending death threats to the Palworld. The Xbox fans were sending death threats to the Palworld devs to make sure the game never goes to PlayStation. That was not true, and the Palworld devs immediately reported back after this thing blew up and had like hundreds of thousands of upvotes from other massive crazy fanboys, people on the PlayStation side. It said, we have received no death threats from anyone in regards to console support. No threats from anyone at Xbox, PlayStation, or PC players. Nothing console or platform related. They then responded again. Or Nintendo fans, or Ouya fans, or Sega fans, or Valve fans, or Atari fans, or whatever other companies made consoles past, present, or future. Stop trying to perpetuate your stupid fucking console war. It's not real. It's a boring narrative. Get over it. So they were very angry that someone was trying to, like, start shit just because they were a huge fanboy of something else and trying to spread false information about that, more or less.
Go
And,
figure.
yeah, right? It was very interesting, to say the
Yeah,
least.
it sounds like it.
The controversy that's come from this game is very entertaining on all fronts, but it showed that PlayStation fans and every fans just in general, like Nintendo fans and even to an extent Xbox fans, are just fucking unhinged and really need to shut the fuck up and just enjoy their video games.
Okay, well
So
that's wishful thinking,
I
but
know, I know, I
Mhm.
know. But yeah, all in all, I would say Palworld's really, really fun. There's like bosses, but they're not like gym battles or anything. They're like for instance, there's a boss at the end of the tutorial in Palworld, and when you meet this girl, she's riding on the back of a PAL, and like she'll attack you with her guns and stuff on while riding on the PAL, and the PAL will also attack you with its things like its electric attacks. But you can like dodge and jump and duck and like throw your own pals out to help fight it, and you can also just fight it with guns and stuff like that. And I don't know, I just think that this is a really interesting concept that is very iterative of every game that it's kind of aping, but all of those games aren't combined into one, and Power World is all of those games combined into one, and it works. And that's what makes it unique in its own really weird way.
Yeah, I mean, it looks interesting. I mean, looking at the video for it, it reminds me. I mean, the designs remind me a lot of Pokemon, even just up front. Um, so you definitely can see where people. Although, I mean, there was the mod. That's I think probably what got a lot of
Yeah.
people pissed off. Um, but even just kind
You
of
know what the
figure out
biggest issue with that mod was? It
what.
was not the fact that it was Pokemon. Do you know that mod was a paid mod? You had to give the person money on their Patreon to get that mod.
No,
Yep.
dumb,
Yep.
very dumb.
I honestly do not think it would have been shut down if they wouldn't have done that.
Not as fast, I don't
Yeah,
think.
you know what? Yeah,
Mhm.
that's a better way of putting it. It wouldn't have been shut down as fast. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure Nintendo would have. There's no money involved. They probably would have been like, well, let's investigate. We can slow boat the lawyer ninjas over there and do whatever. But yeah, now once you start throwing money in it, they're like, mm. Interestingly, um,
Yep.
Nintendo did put out like a tweet this week where they're like, hey, it's the 2 year anniversary for Legends Arceus.
Yeah.
I was like, well, that's random.
So
So
in Power World, you know how you can just kind of throw balls in Legends Arceus and
yeah.
like hope that you catch them? You can do that in Power World too.
That's what I
So
saw from the videos.
yeah,
I was like, I wonder
yeah,
if they're trying to
exactly.
draw some connections there. I feel like those games probably have more in common
They
than say
do.
like your
And that's the
traditional.
thing. I
Mm,
would actually say Power World has more in common with something like Legends Arceus than it does with mainline Pokemon games.
yeah, I can
So,
I can totally see that.
and you
It
know
wouldn't
what?
surprise me.
I think that's why I like it because Legends Arceus is better than mainline Pokemon
Oh,
games.
absolutely. Yeah, I honestly I wouldn't be surprised if that's we see another Legends as like the next Pokemon game. I think that's probably what they're doing next. Really. Um, and we should be due for Pokemon Present soon too. Usually Pokemon Day is coming up, so usually we get like all the new kind of excitement and announcements at that time. So I think it's sometime next month. We're near the end. Look like. Uh, yeah, the game looks interesting though. I would play. Maybe I'll have to, if it's on an Xbox, maybe I'll should get it.
It's on Game Pass, so you can
Mhm.
just boot it up,
Yeah.
give it a go. It's very
Mhm.
fun. Like I've lost like maybe 30 plus hours in it. It's it's kind of addicting.
Good chunk of time. Yeah.
Yeah, and I've also been spending time playing other games, so it would be longer if I didn't have other games come out.
Fair.
Yeah,
Yeah.
26 hours in Power World,
Yeah. Usual.
which is yeah, pretty long.
Yes, it is. What else have you been playing then?
All right. Infinite Wealth, like a dragon. This was in our games like looking forward to for the year for next year, in 2024.
Hmm.
It's already released. I have played it. I have played about 22 hours of it.
Okay.
This is one of the reasons why I haven't been playing Power World. One of the only reasons I haven't been playing Power World. So let's talk about this. So Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth picks
Uh-huh.
up at the end of the original Like a Dragon game, which
Hmm.
was the first turn-based RPG version of Yakuza. And yeah, this game it starts out very slow, like incredibly slow. There's a lot of world building here. There's a lot of going from one place to another. Um, and there's a lot of cutscenes. Like I feel like the first 6 hours, like four of it was cutscenes, but I can't really complain because the story is very good
Hmm.
and very interesting. Um, there's a few little odd choices here and there that didn't make any sense, but it's whatever. But so this game starts in Japan something major happens, and then we need to fly to Hawaii. So this is the first Like a Dragon Yakuza game that mostly takes place in the United States. And a lot of people in this game speak English, even when you're
Hmm.
playing the Japanese dub, which is really interesting and a very nice touch.
Hmm.
This is so fucking good. This game is so good. I barely scratched the surface. I think there's like 12 or 16 chapters or some shit, and I'm on 5, and that's 22 hours in. So I've got a long way to go. There's other things here. So, we were talking about Pokemon before with Palworld.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Pokemon again with Like a Dragon. So there's a mini game, a side quest in this game called Sujimon, and Sujimon are basically all the enemies that you fight that are creeps and weirdos, and you can become a Sujimon master, and you have to defeat the discrete four and get all the gym badges, and then win the Sujimon League tournament.
Okay. I like
It's
it.
very silly. So whenever you defeat like world bosses in this game, which are denoted by having like a crown above their head and blocking off a certain part of the open world area that you can't really get to, or an item that you can't really get to until you defeat them. Whenever you defeat those, you have a chance of them being able to catch them. You catch them by presenting them with like a gift bag, basically, and then trying to convince them to join your team. Um, there's multiple different types. There's like grass, defense, and attack. And then there's light and dark. So it's much more stripped down, but it's a fun little rock paper scissors mini game where you're trying to catch enemies that you defeated in the normal battles and turn them into Sujimon and then use them to take on the discrete four. And it's very, again, tongue in cheek. It's very silly, and it's great. It's
Hmm.
very, very funny. Um, there's other elements here. There's Sicko Snap, which is literally just Pokemon Snap, but you're taking pictures of perverts that are out on the street and capturing them to send to the police to get them arrested.
Okay.
And you do this by riding on a monorail around
Uh-huh.
Hawaii and taking pictures of any of the perverts that you see that are basically just big burly men thrusting their junk at onlookers.
Is this the one that had the trailer where he was just like wakes up naked on the beach or whatever?
Yes, that
Okay.
that uh that plot point has nothing to do with this though. That's
Okay.
actually from the main story. And there's a reason that happens. He woke up naked on the beach, and I'm not going to give away too much, but basically someone drugged him and then stole all of his stuff, making him essentially a John Doe. So now he has no identity and he's stuck in America
Okay.
because his passport, his ID, and everything was stolen. So a big part of the plot, which that's when the plot starts getting going, is that you are trying to hunt down the person that stole your passport and find them because you cannot leave America without your passport, essentially.
Yeah.
So, yeah. It's a very interesting, very weird game. Like I said, it's a very slow burn. I would say like the first 6 hours, like I said, or so, it felt like it was just incredibly slow. But it was mostly like building characters and doing this, that, and the other. I love all the different things you can do in this game to like make money. So obviously you can do the like turn-based battles and you get money like you would in any other kind of RPG. But on top of all of that, you can do things like you can deliver food, you can do the sicko snap, like I said. You can become friends with pretty much everyone on the island. So if like someone has like a little emoji meter over the top of them, if you press like the X button on Xbox or the square button on PlayStation when you're walking by, you're able to say aloha and do like a little thing. And as you gain more friends and more notoriety, and befriend people, you'll end up getting like different things happen, such as like a whole bunch of people ganging up on one person in the corner, and then you have to defeat them. And when you defeat them, you get not only more friendship, but you also get things like more money from that fight that you were doing.
Hmm.
And in general, this game's just it's very, very Yakuza, very, very like a dragon. It's very silly and over the top with super serious undertones when it's the main story that you're following, but other times you'll like, for instance, shoulder check a palm tree to get coconuts, and someone will fall out of it dressed like a palm tree with coconuts and everything, with like body paint and like even the leaves on their head, and it'll be like, all right, you know how like when you go into a battle in an RPG, it tells you who you're battling. Well, this guy was just labeled some asshole, and it's like
Okay.
that's the kind of that's the kind of thing and like humor that you get with these kind of games. There's a lot of new characters here and a lot of story elements that I'm having to dance around that make this game very different from any other. Because I really don't want to spoil this game when it's been out for a very short amount of time. Because like at the end of chapter 3, like a fucking bombshell was dropped that made me just be like, wow, oh fucking K, I guess that's where we're going. Okay. And then I mean, it's very good. It's been improved in every way, shape, and form from the last Like a Dragon game. The last Like a Dragon game, the of the turn-based RPG variety, was very, very slow when doing the battles. But they've done enough here that they made it so the battles feel like way faster, and you would want to do the battles to grind for items and stuff instead of being like, oh, God damn it, I got to do another one of these stupid fucking you know, turn-based battles. I actually really like the turn-based battles and what they've done here. They've added a lot of general like quality of life improvements to the game to make it way more enjoyable. And honestly, it's growing on me. Like it didn't really grow on me on the original one, and I kind of was like, all right, I'll fucking try this one because it's Like a Dragon, and I'm kind of have to because I love these games. But I've been like not able to put this game down. It's been so fucking fun so
Okay.
far.
That's good.
Yeah.
It
I
sounds
also
like it's a really interesting
it is. It's
tricky
very
game.
interesting. I mean, I'd love to tell more, but like I would literally have to spoil major plot points, and I just can't do that. So
Yeah.
that's
No,
kind of
fair.
my
Mhm.
issue right now. When I get further along and the game's been out longer, I'll give a few more little tidbits here and there. But right now, I've been playing that one constantly, pretty much every night.
Mhm.
I also played the demo of Tekken.
Okay.
And I really like what they've added, which is an arcade story mode. And you may think, oh, okay, when you play arcade fighters, right? You're essentially fighting enemy after enemy after enemy after enemy after enemy, that sort of thing, in a line. Like you defeat one enemy, you go on to the next one, so on and so forth. Well, they decided to take arcade story mode seriously, and you actually have avatars, and you go from arcade to arcade with said avatars, fighting other people that are in that arcade to become the
Mhm.
best at Tekken 8. So you fight
Okay.
other avatars in the arcade to like get notoriety so that you will eventually be able to take on whoever the real best at Tekken 8 is and beat them at Evo. That's
Okay.
the actual plot of arcade mode, and it's super fucking cool. So yeah, I really liked the demo. I liked what was there, and I really enjoyed my time with it. So I bought Tekken 8 yesterday, and I haven't played it yet, but I will be. So yeah, I don't really have a lot to say about Tekken 8, but the general changes to the fighting style, which is very minimal in my opinion, at least from the offset. I'll have to go deeper into it to learn more. They're they're very good. They're very good. And I've seen a lot of people essentially say this is one of the best Tekkens that have released, so I'm very excited to like dive deeper into it and really enjoy that game. Like I've said before, and I don't know if I've said it here, but I'm sure I have. Tekken is my favorite fighting game of all time. So,
Yeah, I know you were very excited for this one.
yeah.
So it's good that both these games seem to live up to
Absolutely. I am
expectations. Yeah.
at least from the demo of Tekken, I loved what I played, and I I kind of have a problem sometimes when I play really really long games where like I'm just like after like a day or three, I come back to it like a month later and then like, go back to playing it, and then like maybe a month or two later I go back to playing it, or like a week or so or whatever, and I kind of fall off. But Infinite Wealth, I have not fallen off a single point in time. I always want to play more of this game. It is just so fucking good. I actually think this might be one of the best in the series that they've made yet. And that's saying something because I love the Like a Dragon series. And Yeah, I really hope it's the same feeling I get with Tekken 8 when I go deeper into that game. So there we go.
Okay. All right, I guess we'll talk about what I've been playing then.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Vampire Survivors.
Oh shit!
I realized actually some of it after we were talking about it last week. I was like, I think part of my dislike, well, not dislike, it's not dislike. Part of my kind of like cautiousness of putting it on the list, this list,
Hmm.
my game of the year list,
Yeah.
I think was because I was kind of pissed off about how long the last update took to get it out on the Switch. Because Switch update was delayed like pretty significantly beyond like everything else. So just after we recorded Game of the Year last week, um, they actually came out and were like, "Hey, here's the adventure mode and the Among Us DLC that you guys have not had for the last month. Bye."
Damn.
And so I was like, "Oh, I've been waiting for that for a fucking month."
Hmm.
So yeah, so I got to finally play that. I know you played it already. Um,
I have.
but it's good. I like the honestly. I think the Among Us DLC is a lot of fun. I like the new like
Yes, it's
characters
very
and
good.
weapons and things that they did. So I've been playing through some of that. I tried a little bit of adventure mode, but I didn't really get very far in it. I was way more interested in unlocking like new things at the Among Us stuff. I did like 3 or 4 of the unlocks so far.
Okay.
I've gotten through probably about half the unlocks total for the Among Us stuff. So
Nice.
yeah, that was pretty nice. Also, too, just because this kind of reaffirms discussion that we had earlier.
Hmm.
Um, but with the adventures mode, when I had booted it up originally, the Among Us adventures were not there. But once I added the DLC, the
Oh,
Among
okay.
Us adventures
So we
did
know that
add
for
in
sure
there.
now. That's how
Yeah.
that works. Okay,
So
cool.
definitive answer there. So
Good to know.
that was nice. I think my only thing with the game now too, it feels like they've added so much stuff that they need something to help balance it a little bit more again.
I think that's what
Uh,
Adventures is supposed to be.
Adventures does, yeah, because you're kind of limited in the stuff that you have available and the stuff that you access. But when you're just kind of like free playing around, all of a sudden you're like, all right, here's like 17 billion weapons and 17 billion updates.
You're right.
Hopefully you're lucky enough on your rolls to get the matches that you want. Um, so yeah, that kind of stuff. I mean, I haven't had any too many issues, but especially with the Among Us stuff, you have a lot of the kind of I don't even know what to call it, like upgrade items, whatever. They're available in the maps there. Uh, but if you're trying to get anything else or anything else randomly pops up, it's just kind of more of a luck of the draw. I really wish too that they had a system that was better for kind of there's some evolutions and evolution items that I can remember well,
Yeah.
but then there are other ones where I don't. And I
There's
wish
a
that
book.
well, I know you can go in the start menu and look.
Yeah.
But when you are on like the level up screen, I don't know if you have access to it.
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know either.
For some reason, I don't think you do. Um, but and it is nice once you have like some of the upgrade items. They're like, hey, this weapon will evolve with this item.
Mhm.
So that's nice if you know that and you've already seen it. But if you don't remember, the items don't show you. They're not like, hey, this you might want to
Well, actually,
I think it
if
does if
you,
you have the weapon
yeah, if
already.
you have the weapon already, it does tell you upgrades this item in your
But it would be
inventory.
nice if it was like, hey, candelabra
Hmm.
will upgrade this item and this item if you get them.
Yeah.
Maybe just kind of show it there tentatively. It's like a little nitpick. It's not like a really honestly, like it's not like the game's unfun even if you just pick totally random shit that doesn't evolve. Like you can still get some crazy shit.
I remember when this game first came out, people didn't know items evolved, and
Well
like
really.
it took them a while to realize and be like, wait, what the fuck?
Yeah, there's
Hmm.
a lot of depth there to it. And some of the items that upgrade like very predictable, some of them are not. And then
And you can like combine the arcanas, also with the
yeah,
like item upgrades, and then you can get some crazy shit going on.
yeah. So that's all been a lot of fun. So I've been very excited about that. Just being able to play that. That's been kind of my main focus since
Hmm.
we last spoke. I have been playing, and I'm not going to talk too terribly much about it now because I don't have much to add beyond the demo at this point.
Hmm.
But I have been playing through the Another Code collection, recollection, whatever it's
Okay.
called. Um, and I got a few hours into that. But like I said, it's I haven't tried any of the new to me content like
Hmm.
the Wii stuff. I'm still playing through like the original game. Um, but it does seem to work really nicely. I don't have any like major complaints with it at this point. So just kind of like sorting through all that.
I see.
Uh, yeah, but no, it looks good. So um, yeah, that's it. I think that's all I've been playing. You ready to move on to news things?
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, I didn't write anything down here. There's been like a lot of kind of rapid fire news. I think the last couple weeks, rapid
Yeah.
fire news and rumors, probably a better way to put it. But I was just going to touch on some of those things. Because what was it like? Microsoft, Blizzard laid off like disgusting amount of
1,900
people.
people.
Yeah,
It
that's the
was a
number I was going to
ridiculous
say. And I
amount.
was just going to
Hmm.
confirm it. Yeah, including their entire
Physical division.
yes,
And it looks like physical media is going away for Xbox. But
not surprising.
here's the thing, right?
Hmm.
And I'm not giving any kind of leadway to Xbox because that fucking sucks. But I was looking at some stuff, and a lot of media, just in general, that is physical media, is being just removed from shelves.
Yeah.
I like completely gone. So like
Hmm.
Blu-rays, DVDs, everything being removed completely. So I don't know necessarily if it's a product of that moving over to the Xbox side because like even some PS5 games, like I'm not seeing them on the shelves anymore either, like physical PS5 games, or if it's just Microsoft being fucking stupid as usual. So I'm not sure which one it is. I'm more leaning towards Microsoft being fucking stupid as usual, but it is also happening to others, which is something to keep in mind as well.
Yeah, there is in terms of like current event stuff.
Hmm.
I think like Walmart's already announced that they're removing a lot of their physical games. Best Buy has announced they're removing physical media, which is like DVDs and stuff. They haven't officially announced that games are part of that yet. Um, there is
But the
also
other
the
day, their shelves were empty for video games, except
yeah,
for like a few Switch titles.
yeah,
So
and there is also a
again,
possibility
something to
that
keep in mind.
yeah. There's also a possibility that, Microsoft, might be retaining, some means of releasing physical media.
Hmm.
Just, maybe not necessarily having an entire team devoted to it anymore. We
Yeah,
really
I
don't
mean,
know what that restructuring actually entails completely, but just that division doesn't exist anymore.
yeah,
So,
I
but
mean,
it'll
it's
be
like
interesting
the
to see how
Ubisoft
things
guy said, "You own nothing and be happy about it."
yes. Yeah, you own nothing. Physical media is going away.
Yeah,
Yeah, and your owning of games is no longer.
sucks because
What
I'd
else?
love to have a physical version of Alan Wake 2. They never released one.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was
It seems
only
like
digital.
something that I honestly, the other option is too, they might just leave it to kind of more of those like niche publishers, you know?
The thing is,
Um,
if Limited Run makes an Alan Wake 2 limited run, it
mhm.
will be the first limited run game I buy, like easily. I would love to own that game.
Yeah, and it seems like it's ripe for them. Like that kind
Hmm.
of game seems ripe for them. So I could see them doing that. Also, kind of amongst the Microsoft news, they did cancel Blizzard game that had been like in development for a few
They
years.
did, and looking at what the game was, um, sucks that it got canceled, but it did look like dog shit.
I'm sure it did.
It looked
Oh,
like a mobile garbage title, basically.
yeah. So, well, at least you don't have to worry about that anymore. But at least that maybe that's Microsoft saying like, "Hey, we're not putting up with this crap anymore. Quality or no." Um, so that's gone. And they also put who was it in charge of Bungie now, or not Bungie? In charge of Blizzard now is someone who was a former manager of like the Call of Duty line of games. So they've been making some switch arounds.
Uh,
So be interesting, like I said, to see just kind of how all that stuff kind of
yeah.
shakes out. Um, what other random news and rumors did I see recently?
Oh, I saw the PlayStation games that are coming to PC rumor. Did you see about that?
The only thing I saw was the Horizon
Oh
thing,
no,
but
no, no,
I
that
don't
was
think that
announced.
was
That
not
was
rumored.
announced.
That was
The
already known.
rumor,
Yeah.
yeah, the that's in March. That comes out on March 21st, which is one day before Dragon's Dogma, which got announced to be only a 30 FPS game on consoles, which is fucking wild. Um, like what the fuck? And that was a whole that was a whole can of worms also yesterday. People saw that the developers of Dragon's Dogma 2 basically said we're aiming for 30 FPS on all next gen consoles. And people are like, why the fuck do we own next gen consoles then?
But ray tracing.
I don't even think it has ray tracing.
Oh, well, I don't
Or if
know.
it does, I think it's very sparingly. You know what has ray tracing that's weird? I'm sorry, I'm just going random right now.
Yeah.
My bad. But I just saw this. Persona 3 remake has ray tracing.
Okay.
It was
Random.
never announced. It's really fucking weird.
Probably just like, hey, it works. Whatever.
Yeah, Digital Foundry found that out. But okay, going back to what we were saying about the Xbox stuff and whatnot. Yeah, you were saying that they put someone from Call of Duty in charge
Yeah,
of.
that was it. That was all. That
Okay,
was all
okay,
it was. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Blizzard's a fucking mess right now, and so
Mm-hmm.
is most things. And then I started talking about the rumored leaks. Well, they're not even rumored; they're just basically leaks. There's 5 games I believe that were said to be heading to PC from PlayStation 5.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was GeForce Experience that fucked up and ousted these games by mistake. Because, I don't know if you know what GeForce Experience is, but it's essentially what's used to optimize games for PC. So, like, it's how you install your drivers if you don't just install them manually.
Mm-hmm.
And in the code for that, they found that Gran Turismo 7, God of War Ragnarok, which was obvious, Until Dawn remake, and what else was there? Demon Souls remake are all slated to be heading to PC in the near
Okay.
future.
Nice.
So my thoughts on this is, I think that's going to be announced at tomorrow's PlayStation Direct.
Probably.
Like some of those are going to be announced tomorrow at the PlayStation Direct.
I think that's a safe
Um,
bet.
and yeah, that's good. I would love to play I have Gran Turismo 7, right? I have that on PlayStation 5. I actually really enjoy that game. I think it got way more hate than it deserved, and it's a really enjoyable experience. I think it's one of the better racing games that there is out there if you want like kind of sim racing on a console. Here's the thing. Sim racing, where you get like a race wheel and the pedals and all that stuff. I
Uh-huh.
would love to do that, but I'm just so confused on what consoles this racing wheel works for and what consoles this one doesn't work for, and if it includes this sort of thing or that sort of thing. And a lot of things I read about racing wheels is a lot easier to find like a good racing wheel on PC. So
Makes sense.
it'd be way easier to play Gran Turismo 7 with a racing wheel, in my opinion, and have a good quality experience if I'm playing it on PC. And now that the rumor is GT7 is coming to PC, I will probably rebuy the game and then get a racing wheel to play that on PC because it'll be easier than just hunting down which wheel is good for this, which real wheel isn't, which version is good, which version isn't for the PS5. Does mine take in this signal? Does it not? Is it the new PS5s that allow for this wheel to work? Or blah blah blah, all this bullshit. And I don't want to deal with that. I really don't want to deal with that. I'd rather just plug a racing wheel into my PC and play GT7 if
Yeah.
that is an option.
Mm-hmm. Understandable.
So that's why I'm excited about that because I do like Gran Turismo 7.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. It's
And
also
then
rumored that
yeah,
oh,
I was gonna say
sorry.
Until Dawn, the Until Dawn remake that we were talking about. Or I think it's a remaster that's coming to PC. That's also rumored to be coming to PS5, and that's also supposed to lead the way for the Until Dawn movie that was announced. So, you know,
Yeah.
I wanted to just mention that part. Now I'm done. You can go ahead and say what you're gonna say about your rumor.
Um now if I can remember what it was.
I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay. What was it about? Mm, it was Sony related.
Hmm.
Oh yeah. Silent Hill um stuff might be coming with the state of play. tomorrow as well. So I think there was uh, release date for the remake and a shadow drop for Silent Hill short message.
What
So
is short message?
hmm, don't know.
Is it supposed to be like PT, but not?
Not sure.
Hmm.
Don't know. Don't know anything about it.
Okay then.
Yeah. So I guess stay tuned. We'll know the answer by the time listeners. You'll know the answer by the time you're listening to this episode because the state of play should have already happened. So, so yeah. So you got that. A bunch of Nintendo rumors and stuff too. So apparently, Switch 2 is going to have a 8-inch LCD screen, and Nintendo's planning on shipping 10 million of them in the next fiscal year, supposedly, according to said rumor. So, nothing terribly surprising there. That number is a bit ambitious, though. If it's real, then you can expect that there should be a pretty decent supply of those systems going into the holiday. So, there's
Yeah,
that.
I hope.
Um, these two rumors kind of came in tandem,
Okay.
and they are kind of related, but they're still Nintendo stuff. Supposedly, there's been some updated trademarks related to GameCube controllers in the UK, and also someone has started a rumor that GameCube games are expected to be at launch for the next Switch, whatever that may be. So
Oh my god.
yeah. So we'll see. It seems like it's something that could happen. But that one they put out Mario Kart Double Dash, Smash Brothers Melee, which I feel like that's just screaming as fake rumor, but who knows? Uh they said that Prime 2 and Prime 2 specifically will be released that way as well. Um and then they also suggested that what was the other game? Mario Party 4, Fire Emblem Path of Radiance, and Pokemon Coliseum would also be released near launch in the same kind of manner. So wouldn't surprise me. Nintendo's been slowly kind of remastering some of them, but honestly, there some of those titles I just never really expected them to put that amount of effort into. So if they have some sort of easier method to get them out faster, makes sense. So there is that. Also, another Nintendo rumor. Supposedly, they have filed for a new Star Fox trademark, pointing specifically to a new title in that series. So, doesn't really give any more details. Just kind of like it's just like, hey, this is related to this. So yeah, it wouldn't surprise me Nintendo is working on something new for Star Fox. We haven't seen anything since Star Fox Zero, really, and it seems like a series that Nintendo would be. There was a rumor not that long ago that they were shopping around some of their, you know, not as hot first party series to third party devs to see if they can get titles from them. That just screams Star Fox to me. So makes sense that we could see that. Also, apparently, I think Wario was in there too, like Wario World or something. Um, so there could be that. Um, and then I think the last kind of rumor thing that I saw, I think it's still a rumor, that all that stuff that's been kind of trickling out about Ubisoft and Assassin's Creed, what is it, Red something? Have you seen any of this?
No, I have not.
Okay. Where is it? Where do you mean? Yeah, it's Assassin's Creed Red confirmed for 2024, and it's quote set to be the biggest blockbuster this year. So, apparently that's just from some random Ubisoft employee, but Ubisoft lately has kind of been teetering on some. I don't know. It seems like they've just not been doing well lately, and they need a big win. So I have a feeling that knowing Ubisoft, they probably dumped all their ambition into this new Assassin's Creed title. So I expect it will be a very ambitious title. Whether or not it's a good title is another question. But they have some sort of thing coming up, or at least I think rumored that they're doing another kind of I don't know, whatever Ubisoft wants to call their version of Direct, to kind of get their games out there. So I'm sure we'll hear about that more in the near future. So, um, but yeah, it's not like a Ubisoft Assassin's Creed title is very shocking, but it's coming. Supposedly set in Japan, so which should be fun place to be. So that's it. I think that's all kind of the biggish news slash rumors that I've seen recently. Um, Nothing terribly surprising there overall. I think most of it's kind of, and it's kind of the tricky thing with those ones. Like nothing there is very unreasonable. It's all you could also just kind of blindly predict kind of the same things. So it'll be interesting to see how these things come out. Obviously, we're getting to Microsoft just did their kind of direct thing. Sony's got their state of play this week. Nintendo should have a direct within the next month, and I would also expect a Pokemon presents in that time frame as well. So, yeah, stay tuned. We're back in the exciting time of the year where everything starts to get announced again. So, yeah,
Yep,
that's all I had seen.
a
Did you
lot
see
more
anything
stuff
else?
coming up. No, not really.
Yeah.
I think we're. I mean, other than the Suicide Squad shit going on,
Mhm.
but that's just a mess of a game.
Yeah,
I don't
that's
even
a
want to
mess.
talk about it.
Train wreck.
hmm I'm done. I think I'm done.
Okay. Nothing else to talk about?
No, I got nothing.
Okay. Let's wrap up then.
All right.
Thank you everyone for listening to us tonight. Don't forget you can find us on iTunes, Stitcher, Amazon, YouTube, wherever you get your podcasts. We also have our website, game-crunch.com, with all of our new episodes and old episodes. All the episodes. If you want to reach out to us, you can send us email at gamecrunchcast@gmail.com. Brandon.
Yep.
Any final thoughts?
No, nothing at all. I'm good.
All right. Well, that said, my name is Mike Anastasia. Find me online at Clash Penguin there or on your favorite gaming console. And until next week, game on.
Games.
Games. That's it. That's all she got.
Yeah, I think that went well.
Okay. Yeah. No, I think so too. I think it's a nice sized episode too. So,
Agreed.
yeah. All right. Have anything exciting to tell you otherwise today? I don't think so.
I don't think you do you?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Today's just today.